This is the beginning of Chapter 3, our third problem, Chapter 3, on standard deviation and how to do standard deviation. When we look at standard deviation, I'm on Chapter 3, Slide 15, the standard deviation slide. Standard deviation is depicted by the small s, is the square root of the sum of each and every x minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. We want to take a look at this formula, and actually you want to get out a clean sheet of paper at this point and begin what I call your legal cheat sheet, or your formula sheet that you are allowed to use on tests during this class. So standard deviation. Let's take this formula to a clean sheet of paper and discuss it a little bit. Standard deviation is equal to the square root of the sum of x minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. How do you find this? This is going to be a step-by-step process. Some of you might have calculators that do this. If you don't, you definitely want to write down these steps, and you want to make sure, and you're allowed to use these on your legal cheat sheet for an exam. So the first thing you need to do is find your x bar. What is x bar? X bar is your mean. It is the average. You're going to take each and every single x, add them all up, and divide by the number of x's that there are. And that is actually your n. The second thing you do is you take each and every single x and subtract x bar from that. You will have positive numbers and you will have negative numbers, and it's fine. Don't worry. The third step is to take each and every single x minus x bar and square it. So after you go through and take x minus x bar, you want to take the square of the answer to that. And you want to do it for each time you do x minus x bar. The fourth step, you want to add all of your x minus x bar squares together. Now you don't want to add x minus x bars and then square them, because you're going to end up with 0. You square them before you add them up. This step 4 is the same as taking the sum of x minus x bar squared. That right there is the top part of this formula. The fifth step is you want to find your n minus 1. Again, what is n? N is the number of x's that were there that you added up to begin with to get your average. What's the number that you divided by? That's your n. Step 6 is you want to take your sum of x minus x bar squared and divide it n by n minus 1. Literally what you're doing is you are taking your step 4 and divide by step 5. Step 7 is you want to take the square root of your sum of x minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. So you want to take the square root of step 6. That is how you find standard deviation. If you have questions about it, I do have a practice sheet that I will post to D2L that will help you go step by step learning how to do standard deviation, and you will be able to do a couple of practices on that. And the answer key is also there. I suggest you do the problems before you look at the answer key to make sure that you are doing it correctly and not just following what I'm doing, making sure you know how to do standard deviation.